brother. What's up?
This is a
Hey, how you
big
doing?
party, man.
Yeah,
I
brother.
can
Like,
dig it.
stop. Right on.
Hey, man, what's your name? Everything is everything.
Mother, there's too many.
This is they're calling it the Riley Ripple Leader Fan Radio Network, and KFAN.com. 2 minutes, 17 seconds past the hour of 3 o'clock Central Standard Time. Welcome back. Thursday edition of the Bumper to Bumper program on a beautiful, balmy, late February afternoon here in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. Guardsy produces the show. My name is Dan Barreiro, formerly of the Star Tribune, once upon a time called Newspaper of the Twin Cities. Now, when I came aboard, it was the Minneapolis Star Tribune. It's now the Minnesota Star Tribune. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I can't even remember why we made that change or why they made that change.
One Minnesota.
Is that what it is? Yeah, I guess it makes sense.
Because they're investing in, they call it too, Chip Scoggins, our buddy, told me this the other day when we were doing Pair and Despair.
Yeah.
We were talking about outstate football recruiting for the Golden Gophers, and he said, well, now at the Minnesota Star Tribune, we call outstate Greater Minnesota. Greater Minnesota. And I had the same reaction that you had right there. I said, well, isn't that precious?
Eye rolling? Yeah.
Isn't that precious?
Well, I am old enough to remember a terrifically popular and profitable state edition of the Star Tribune, like the broadsheet newspaper.
We used to get it at the cabin.
Does it even get distributed? I don't even know. That's a question for Scoggins. Does it get distributed like in places such as Duluth or Hibbing, or because it would be all over the state, especially the Sunday edition? Because the rule was if we weren't writing on deadline, like covering a game on a Saturday night, the edict was get your Sunday column in Friday so that it could make the early the state edition. That again was, I don't remember what the circulation of it was, but it was big. It was a thing.
I'm sure it was.
I don't think it's a thing anymore. I'm guessing because they barely print the newspaper in the Twin Cities now, do they?
Now it's the Iowa Star Tribune.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It's got to come from Des Moines.
Very, very true, Davey. 100% true. Outstanding guest lineup today. Well, actually, it's one person deep right now. Correct?
Incorrect.
Who did I forget on my list?
The man that forgot us for 3 weeks in Milan.
Oh, my God, you're right. I did forget him. Russo Radio is at 5:02. I got to add to my pregame tweet. Russo Radio 5:02. And Billy Guerin is scheduled to join us this afternoon, bottom of this hour, I believe.
3:30.
3:30. Wild back in action on the Fan tonight, right? We
Against
started
Denver.
all over against the Lanch. This is it.
My sources say that the celebration may have gotten to Guerin. That he's not feeling great today, so he may not have his usual. He may not have his usual bite.
I'm shocked he's still not celebrating.
He might be
in terms of alcohol and food.
Whatever you want.
He likes both.
Smoke them if you got them.
Yeah, and cigars. Is he a cigar guy? I don't remember.
You'll have to ask him.
I'll ask him. That's
he seems like he would be.
Yeah, I would think it would be. He would not deprive himself of anything he felt would enhance the celebration.
I just love when he comes to the state fair and he's got a beer in one hand and a bucket of Sweet Martha's in another.
True.
I mean, that's a Minnesotan.
That
right
is
there.
very. That's
that
very
is a
Minnesotan.
state fair vet.
Kevin Seifert will never be able to relate to that.
He'll never know the feeling.
He'll never understand what that feeling is like.
He'll never know the feeling.
At the Great Minnesota
How
Get
sad is
Together.
that?
It's sad because he's become almost radical about it. He's just sort of locked in on it. And the more you push him, I would never be this way. The more you push him, the more he's going in the other direction. So we'll get Guerin on at 3:30 this very afternoon. Are they calling it the Riley Ripple, as in Pat Riley, who we saluted, all but gave or issued the bumper-to-bumper seal of approval to, was it yesterday or the day before?
Honestly, I don't even remember.
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah.
No, yesterday we led with A-Raj coming here. More on that later.
Oh, for sure.
No, it was 2 days ago. We got into saluting Ryle's view of getting coaches back in suits on the sidelines in the NBA, because in the NHL they still do.
They do,
right? Largely, because I don't think I see. Is there a single? We'll ask Russo this. We'll ask Guerin this. Is there a single NHL head coach who's in a hoodie behind the players on the bench?
I doubt it.
I don't remember seeing that.
I doubt
He
it.
would stand out if he did, because it would be so unusual.
And Guerin is a suit guy. He believes in the suit.
He is a suit guy. You're right.
He believes in the man store like Lou Nanny's father.
If I want to butter him up early on things other than winning the gold, that would be the subject. I think that would. It sounds like I think that would be. It has been proven to be very much in his wheelhouse. That's for sure. So we saluted Riley. The way I put it was, in a world that seems to have gone mad, we need to start very modestly, very small. Small moves is the expression I quoted from a very good motion picture called Contact. And you hope that if you start small, you understand that there's not that much at stake with that maybe it starts a revolution and it can build on itself. And we can bring back something that sideline presence seemed to perhaps represent, A little bit of class, some civility, the whole bit. Could that be the start of a larger revolution on more important issues? Well, we'll never know until we do it. But it sounds like the folks who run the airport at Tampa Bay, St. Pete, they seem to be responding, at least this is what I'm going to go with, to what I fondly call the Riley Ripple. Some of you may have seen it. Maybe some of you have even talked about it. Maybe it's been a subject on the show, on any of the shows today here at the Fan. This is from the official X account of Tampa International Airport. And let me just say, as expected in 2026, there are some people mad as hell, and they're not going to take it anymore. Here's what they write. We've seen enough. We've had enough. It's time to ban pajamas at Tampa International Airport. After successfully banning Crocs and giving everyone the amazing opportunity to experience the world's first Crocs-free airport, it's time to take on an even larger crisis, pajamas at the airport in the middle of the day. We know this decision could be disruptive to someone in your life. It's time to have a difficult conversation with them. You can do this. We and Phoebe believe in you. The madness stops today. The movement starts now. Help Tampa Bay International Airport become the world's first Crocs-free and pajama-free airport. Do your part. Say no to PJs at TPA.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good right there.
Subject we have explored from time to time. What's the line? We're in a very casual world, and there's that presumptuousness of who are you to tell someone else going to the airport, getting on a plane, what proper attire is? Are you some kind of elitist? No, just an adult who thinks that probably many of us agree that the line has been crossed. I don't think anybody needs to be arrested. I doubt that if you show up at TPA in jammies, they can reject you from getting on a plane.
Or Crocs.
Yep. I'm guessing. But I like the point they're having fun with and seem to be making in a more general way. Because it does seem as if, I'll show you how the world in which we live here. Let me give you just some of the quick reactions via X to that tweet. I saw one of your employees go poop and didn't wash their hands after. Maybe you should focus on that.
It's frustrating.
It's called, I think, whataboutism, changing the subject.
Exactly right. We're familiar.
I'll dress nice again when we're not treated like cattle at the airport and on the plane. Make air travel less miserable before you ask people to be less comfortable. Fix the delays first. Then we'll talk about my PJs.
Many of us are frustrated.
I can't decide if people who wear PJs in public have given up on life or are living it to the fullest.
That's a great question. Have
It
you
is a
given
great
up,
question.
or
Yeah.
are you finally living your best life?
It's good philosophy. Tampa Airport banned Crocs, not pajamas. Meanwhile, my flight is 4 hours delayed, but sure, let's talk about my pants.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
If they don't smell bad and aren't bothering anybody, why do you all care so much? Why do y'all? That's technically what's said here. Why do y'all care so much? Can y'all focus on actually cleaning your bathrooms for once and speeding up TSA lines instead? Flying from JFK to Tampa in pajamas and Crocs tomorrow out of pure spite.
Well, pretty good.
I mean, as a joke, this is kind of funny, but if it's real, the government telling people what they can and can't wear while traveling, can you say overreach? Anyone? I hate airports. I'd literally rather be anywhere else, including the operating room most of the time. Of all the things that I hate about airports, people who may be wearing pajamas are so far down the list that they may as well not even be listed at all. Who cares? The good news is no one is flying to or from Tampa. I don't think that's true.
That's false.
By definition,
I'd fly there tonight if I could. I love Tampa.
I'm not going to read that one. I will go naked if I have to. I wear neither Crocs nor pajamas to the airport nor in public at all, but people should be able to if they want. No micromanaging passengers' wardrobe choices. If Danny DeVito can wear Crocs on the red carpet, I can wear them at the damn airport.
I liked how that one had the picture of DeVito on the red carpet, just in case nobody believed him.
Yes. Air travel has become an absolutely miserable experience, and people do whatever they can to be comfortable. Why dress up when you're treated like you know what? Y'all need to be focusing on more important things. How about this possibility? How about focusing on all of them? Why can't this be one of several?
Right. Everybody do a little bit.
I'm going to tell you, it is my belief that if we did a bumper-to-bumper poll, we haven't done a bumper-to-bumper poll in quite some time.
I wouldn't even know how to start one now.
Well, I think you can do it via X pretty
We could do
easily,
that,
but I'm not very good at figuring that out. My guess is I think 70% of respondents would endorse at least the concept, the principle that the Tampa Bay Airport seems to be, I guess you could say, celebrating.
I like it.
Don't you? I honestly think the loudest people would say, how dare you? But I actually think, and I don't think that's an elitist thing. I don't think that's anything to do with that. I think most people, now again, is it going to keep them up at night? Probably not. But I think most people would say, oh, God, really?
Why don't you put
Is there
your pants
some,
back
yeah, I mean, is there
on,
some, are there any limits to this at all? You're on a plane. You're not in your home, right? Now, part of the problem is we've seen a great deal of liberalization when it comes to what kids wear to school, right?
We've talked about it a lot.
Loungewear. So what's the line between loungewear and jammies? I don't know. You're a great loungewear guy? You a big loungewear guy at home?
Well, it is, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm in radio for a reason. We talked about that the other day.
True.
When we were talking about the Riley thing.
Right.
I argue with my kids almost daily about, is this a good day to wear Crocs or not to school? When it's 55 below zero and it just snowed, we just had a snownomi. Is this the time we should be wearing Crocs? Their argument is, I've got the boots on for when I go outside. Just let me live my life, Dad. Yeah. So I've kind of acquiesced a little bit there, but yeah, I see it. Getting jeans on my oldest is impossible. So
really?
It's got to be just, sweatpants, basically.
Yeah, and the sweatpants that the kids seem to like, at least the girls, are the big puffy one. Like they're oversized.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I do.
The legs are like, they go from one leg to the, I mean, there's nothing but material when you walk. Right? Which I God bless them. I don't understand.
Given that we've talked about the yoga pants controversies at different schools, I think this is a good trend. I think this is a much better trend.
Yes, there's
for the
that.
kids.
There's that.
I think it's a much better trend. Big, huge pants.
Little less tightness.
Correct. It's tremendous.
That part's hard to argue with. The look, I don't think, is particularly outstanding.
That's fine.
But at that age, maybe that's what we should be rooting for. In any case, so we'll see if this is part of the Riley ripple, that each place tries to do its own part to at least bring discussion to the subject at hand. Now, I don't think that means you got to wear a tuxedo to get on a plane, but has it gotten a little bit ridiculous? I think the answer is yes, but we're afraid to say that. We think, oh, we're hurting somebody's feelings, or who are we to say? And in the name of anything goes, the reality is we all make decisions where we say, no, that can't go. We do every day. So to pretend that we can't in this case is not necessarily real life either. In any case, let's get our first pause in. As I mentioned, a shorty coming up, and then Bill Guerin will join us. We got a bumper-to-bumper seal of approval to get to today. Lots of stuff. And the inbox tentatively opened for 5:30 after Russo at 5. And so there's still time to email Guardsy, jg@kfan.com.
Every game is a big game when it's Wild hockey. You can feel the intensity and excitement at Grand Casino Arena this season. Get your tickets today at wild.com/tickets.
It's the Bumper to Bumper Seal of Approval.
It's got to be emotional for the folks who podcast the show at the Vatican. We issue the Bumper to Bumper Seal of Approval today to Pope Leo. Do you know why? He's our Pope, by the way. You know that, right?
Chicago's own.
Chicago's own.
Villanova grad.
Big White Sox fan, as we recall it.
Mm-hmm.
During a meeting with clergy of the Diocese of Rome, Pope Leo XIV warned about the, quote, temptation to entrust homilies to artificial intelligence. According to him, if one does not train one's own mind, it will atrophy. AI will never be able to preach the faith, he says. The pontiff added that Christianity is not about the formal recitation of prayers, but about a living relationship with God.
It's the Bumper to Bumper Seal of Approval.
How do you not like that from our guy, Pope Leo?
He's on to something.
Now, the question is, will it matter? Because everybody's looking for shortcuts.
They are.
Maybe he's got intel. He's got analytics, priest analytics indicating that at a number of places, priests are already doing this.
He knows where they are.
And that therefore, he's saying, all right, this is my shot across the bow, so to speak. You're on double secret probation. This won't stand. This will not work. I love the way he puts it. And we can broaden this out beyond, as I said, preaching the faith and offering homilies. If one does not train one's own mind, it will atrophy. Isn't that what we're all fighting? To varying degrees?
I think a lot of us, yeah.
Isn't that, what did we talk about last week or the week before? This is the first generation dumber than the last over the last 250 years. Scientifically proven, apparently. And we all are concluding that there's specific reasons for that. The AI direction in which we're going, screens, letting other things do the work for you, etc. Certainly seems like there's signs that there's general atrophy in that regard, if indeed these studies are accurate.
Sorry, KFAN.
What do we call the generation in question? Do you remember?
Wasn't it Z?
I think it was Gen Z. You're
Yeah.
right. Gen Z, dumber for the first time. Like for the last 250 years,
We've been
every
trending
generation
upward.
had been allegedly smarter.
Yep, we've been trending upward, doing a great job.
And then now we're saying now it's turning back the other way. And what's scary is how far back will it go?
Right. And what's the generation following? Because they're much younger now, going through
Correct
processes that I think have gotten even worse.
I'm just saying, I think, I would say I don't think he's looking for my approval, but I think Pope Leo so far is off to a pretty solid start. I don't think there have been any major controversies. Have there? There haven't been any major slip-ups, faux pas
Nope.
that we're aware of.
Get a good Cubs cheap shot of the parade
He
during
had
the
a
playoffs.
great cheap shot.
Yep.
He offers pithy comments all of the time. He also talks about big subjects, which you think I'm Pope. I got to talk about big stuff. I can't just talk about the White Sox. It's nice to because it humanizes me a little bit, but you're the Pope. So you don't want to go too far with the humanization thing, correct? There's limits to how far you want to go. To me, he's threaded that needle very nicely. Something exalted about his position and what he does. And
But
yet
he's relatable.
he seems exactly it. He seems approachable and he seems relatable. And now he's fired a shot across the bow regarding the temptation. I mean, in all seriousness, if you're a priest, so what do you do if you're a priest? If you use AI to preach homilies, then do you confess that when you go to confession?
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, how's that work?
That's how he's onto it, because other priests have called him and said,
That's
hey,
supposed to be confidential.
you're not going to believe what's going on in Milan. Yeah, have you heard what's going on in Argentina?
Yeah, you might be right.
They're using AI.
Yeah. That might be true. In any case, there's a lot of AI talk right now, right? It's the rage. I don't even completely yet understand it. Do you? I don't think I have a good handle on it.
I'm getting there. I feel
where-
like I have to.
Yeah, where we're headed with it,
Yeah.
what's going to be replaced. Is there anybody predicting that? Because in Hollywood, they're devastated and frightened of what these AI-produced movies they've already seen. They say it's over for us. Will this be the end of the average radio talk show host? Will AI ultimately replace me, replace any of the shows that are on the fan? I'm assuming they'd save money that way.
Yeah.
Does AI, is it yet to a place where it could do a show live, even reacting to what's going on, texts, phone calls if you take them,
Not that far away. Not that far away. But at iHeart, we have guaranteed humans. That's one of our taglines.
Is that right?
Guaranteed humans.
For now.
Right, for
See how long-
2026.
See how long that lasts.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, bottom of the hour break. Bill Guerin. I don't think AI guy could do the job of general manager of the gold medal winning Olympic hockey team. But we'll ask Bill. We'll ask him about dressing up. We'll ask him about whether he ever stopped celebrating and who knows what else, the Wild general manager. As the team starts the quote-unquote second half of the season, I don't mean that literally, I mean that figuratively, tonight against Colorado on the road right here on the Fan. There it is. That grand Olympics Open. We played it throughout the Olympics whenever we covered breaking news, whenever we covered analyses, whatever was taking place. Could be in downhill skiing, it could be in luge, and it could be in Olympic hockey. Bill Guerin, kind enough to join us via the Connecticut Water Systems hotline. Would you prefer to talk luge or hockey this evening?
I actually like watching luge, but be it that I don't know anything about it, let's talk hockey.
Okay, well, that's never stopped me, as you know, but I will
No, I
respect
know
your
that.
wishes, as you're well aware of that. You sound a little nasal. Is this post-celebration nasal stuff? Is this a bad cold? What's going on right now?
It's worse than a bad cold. It's a man cold.
Oof. Well,
So it is not good.
how do you define the things that contribute to one acquiring a man cold?
Probably a lot of late nights, jammed in probably a fortnight. Yeah, maybe everything just kind of caught up to me, and that's. But it's all worth it. all worth it.
Hard to argue with that. So if we sort of retrace the steps, go back to when you arrive there, and I'm assuming you had a plan about where you're involved, where you're not, where coaches are doing their thing, etc. So, and there's nothing, I don't think anything else, the personnel is set, right? Those decisions have already been made. The team's been set. So what was the Bill Guerin game plan about here's how I, stay out of the way where I need to, here's where I help, where I should as well?
Yeah, that's funny that you brought that up because, when you're at the Olympics, there's a million security checkpoints. There's a million different levels of credentials. And sometimes it's kind of crazy getting in and out of places. And, like you said, the coaching staff was set. The players were set. The equipment guys had everything, the medical. What is left for me to do? And originally, going into it, I'm like, all right, I just keep a low profile and let everybody just do their job. And that lasted one game. I just, it's just not me. Not that I'm telling everybody what to do. I'm actually down there supporting everybody and just being around as a support system. And that was it. And I just felt much more, connected. I wanted to quiet the noise around the team, and not have our big management staff around it. Mm-hmm. But then I started feeling a little bit disconnected, so I needed to be around more just so I could get a better feel of what was going on.
Well, in the end, I think we've talked about this over the years. You sort of have, whatever your style is, and for some managers, it's real hands-on. For others, it's a little bit more laid back. You sort of got to be true to who you are, right? What comes off, what hurts is if it's phony and you try to be something you're not, and that's really not you. It's not that easy for you to be disconnected.
Right. I couldn't agree with you more. We have talked about that, and I have to be me. And I feel like I'm more effective that way, but it also gives me comfort and confidence in the team when I know more of what's going on. When you don't know the feel of things around the locker room or on the ice, you're kind of watching. You're watching and you're lost. So when I started going around more, I felt more comfortable watching the games, knowing what was transpiring.
Congratulations on winning the gold. It was obviously a mythic run that will be remembered for a long, long time. It resonated hugely in this town, as you know, perhaps here as much or more than any place for all of the obvious reasons. And, what I said before the gold medal game, well, actually what I said after the gold medal game was what a lot of people have, which is that's the event everybody was waiting for. Often when stuff gets hyped, that everybody's anticipating, the match itself or the game itself doesn't live up. And to me, that was the great success, is that it was everything you could have hoped for in that regard and even more. It actually matched the ridiculous level of hype going into it.
Yeah. The first night, I went a couple nights early, and Canada's GM, Doug Armstrong, went as well, and we connected the first night. We went out and had some beers together, and we were just chatting about stuff for a couple hours, and it was really awesome. And at the end, we were just saying see you later, and we both kind of agreed, hope we end up playing each other. And that would just be so good for the game, and it's really kind of how this whole thing, storybook ending, either, whoever wins.
Yes.
These two teams need to face each other again. And it was so good for the game.
Terrific for the game. There's no question about that. I know this is probably an impossible question, but what are you happiest about beyond winning it, which I know is what you were in this for? What, as you've had a couple days maybe to reflect and perhaps get past the adrenaline and so forth, what What are you most satisfied about regarding this whole experience?
It is the winning. It's the way we won. It's the way our players bonded as a team and came together. It wasn't perfect. We got better every game, and we had a tough road. It wasn't easy. Our division was harder than some of the other ones. We faced Sweden in the quarterfinals, which was a really tough game. Then we faced Slovakia in the semifinals, but we continued to get better. And then, even against an unbelievably talented Canada team, we stayed true to ourselves. We didn't break. And the team aspect, I really believe, got us over the hump.
We had
some incredible saves by Hellebuck.
Yes, which is legal in hockey, as we've talked about with a lot of people. It's an interesting thing because we get in that whole subject of outplaying the other team. And a lot of people came out of that game going, well, Canada outplayed the U.S. And one of the things I said, well, in terms of the play on the ice, you can argue there were stretches where I would say that's probably true. But if you factor in that a goaltender is part of the team, then what a goaltender does to tip that balance has to be, that's because, it's as old as hockey, right? That's the part that surprises me, given what an important position is. But people tend to separate that, like, well, the goalie saved them. What do you say to all that conversation?
Yeah, maybe he did. It doesn't matter. We won.
Right.
We won.
We had Wes Walz on. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I said I get it too, but I think that's and I would do it too. That people trying to find some comfort in a loss.
Yes,
and
that's it.
Something to look forward to. I think it's natural, but in the end, you know what? And look, they have a great team. They have great talent. So do we. There's a couple things you need. You need health, you need luck, and you need to be good. We had all three that day.
I'll throw another idea or theory into the mix. We had Wes Walz on a couple of days ago. And by the way, he admitted that he knew his own parents were going to take the results so hard that he waited a full day to call them to talk about it. And I'm sure that part doesn't surprise you. Although on the other hand, I should also mention that Louis called his brother almost immediately, pretended to not know who won, and said, "Hey, I'm driving. I had an errand I had to run. I'm driving. Do you know who won the game?" So that's the other side of it. Louis was a little less magnanimous than Wes Walz was with his parents, but here's
shocking.
Very shocking. The theory Wes had was he believes in the overtime. He said, "I got to tell you, Canada, I don't think Canada played smart. I think the U.S. played a lot smarter." He thought Canada was too impatient, including some of their stars like Connor McDavid. And I thought it was an interesting observation because, let's face it, intelligence, or in terms of making the right decisions at key times, that's part of how we evaluate one team beating another as well, correct?
Yeah. And you know what? Wes is one of the smartest hockey guys I know. And it's kind of funny because I was in a meeting this morning and somebody from my staff said the same thing. And I didn't take it as that, just because the guys that they have out on the ice, they go through three guys all the time. And why not when you're that good? But I guess if you look back and you analyze it, yeah, maybe, but they still have pretty damn good scoring chances. And when look, we played a team game the whole way through, and I think those are the things that we were looking for all along: the chemistry, the camaraderie, the willingness to play as a team, the acceptance of roles, all those things. And I even the guys staying in the village together, just the humility they showed and just the willingness to be a team. I really think that helped us get over the hump.
You think that is part of it?
I do.
we talked about this before you left, that this happens every time there's a selection process, right? Not just with you in charge. It doesn't even matter the sport. Where subjective decisions are made, there's always going to be people who said, "No, man, this you can't leave this guy out. You're leaving. You got to have more talent." Whatever the case may be. Do you feel vindicated, validated, whatever? Because I said Sunday, because we're watching it in real time, and during the show, and I said, here's the thing. They're now in overtime in the gold medal game, but I guarantee you that if the U.S. doesn't score and doesn't win, obviously, score the next goal, Guerin will hear, didn't have enough firepower. In the end, a couple of those blue-collar guys that he had to have, that's what turned this thing. It's sad that it would even be at that point in the gold medal, but you know as well as I do that was going to be the case, correct?
Yeah. I mean, if you make it to that game and you make it to overtime, honestly, if you're going to, I don't know. I just feel like if Doug Armstrong is taking criticism right now, which I don't know, but that's just, I don't know. That's a bit much. You get one goal away. Did anybody? I don't know if anybody criticized me after the Four Nations, but I didn't feel it. I didn't feel like I should have really. Not that I did everything perfect, but we were one shot away.
Exactly. Yeah. Well,
Canada was one shot away.
Right.
They built a great team. How do you nitpick when it's one shot? We're both there. We're neck and neck.
The key stat for me, which I'm sure you know well, is 18 for 18. You were perfect. Your team was perfect on the penalty kill. And that's where you can
and in the Four Nations.
In the Four Nations, too. Okay, I guess I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
So that's a number I look at and people have looked at and said, all right, that's where it may speak to your own philosophy on team building, which has, I think, always been, I am not putting together an all-star team. I'm obviously putting together, I'm not stupid. I'm going to bring talented players, but I'm not putting together an all-star team of literally what might be viewed by a lot of people as the best players. I want a team with players who can do different things for me, presumably, including kill the be effective on penalty kill, and that's sort of where you win, where that is exactly what played out. And I'm wondering on the front end, is that your vision all along? Did it evolve into your vision, or as you look back on that whole process, how does it feed into the ultimate outcome?
I mean, obviously, I don't have a crystal ball. I didn't know it was going to play out just like that. But I mean, all through the tournament, we needed penalty killers. We needed face-off guys. We needed all sorts of, all sorts of different ingredients, and Lou Lamoriello has a way of saying it. He's like, a team's like an orchestra. The trumpeters play the trumpet, tuba guy plays the tuba, the baritone plays the baritone, whatever. You just, everybody play their instrument and things will sound great. But if certain guys start to play other instruments, it goes crazy and it sounds like crap. That's what we had. We had guys that could play their position, their role to a T and excel at it. They're elite at it. And, I know there are other guys scoring goals out there and this and that, but man, we had some guys step up and just play some damn good hockey on that penalty kill. It was incredible. That's their wheelhouse. That's their, that's their hat trick, So I was really proud of that aspect, and John Hines, did a tremendous job with it, and it was great.
So before you make the trade for Quinn, obviously you know him well and you've done all your homework and your due diligence. So I don't know. Maybe there's nothing left to learn about a guy once you acquire him, given how well you knew him and what he's capable of. But I'm wondering now, in the wake of the gold medal run, if you learned anything new or appreciate anything beyond what you already appreciated about what his value in ways that maybe the average hockey fan or the casual hockey fan might not be able to understand.
He's better than I thought. He's even better than I thought. This is the elite of the elite. And when those guys are looking to give him the puck all the time, I mean, you know you got something, and he is just so good. He is so good. He was such a key component, and yeah, we're lucky to have him.
Did you get an extension done over there as well?
Yeah, not really. Didn't have time.
Are there any? I don't expect you to tell us about any trades that you're going to do that you might have consummated, but is it possible? There are a lot of people over there in from the hockey community. Is it possible you did find time to perhaps do a little due diligence on that and learn something that might make it more likely that a big trade will be announced before the deadline in early March?
Not really. I mean, like with our group, like we kind of like, we would have like informal conversations, but like kind of more in a group and stuff. We didn't really get into it. We were so focused on what was going on that it just, you kind of hot stove it some nights. And, but no, we were really just focused on the Olympics and what was going on there.
When were you the most, in terms of the gold medal game, when were you the most nervous?
The whole time.
Just never let up, eh?
No, you know what? So I said it before, like I've got this Aura ring and it measures your stress.
Yes.
And I don't really stress all that much during games. Like,
not like Louis,
games
right?
For a while.
Yep.
Yeah. But I actually, this morning, I looked at my Aura ring for that day in the stress, and the entire day is in the stress category. It is through the roof. And especially going into overtime, like I was just like, "Are you kidding?" Like there are some. I thought my heart was going to come out of my chest. Like it was brutal and beautiful at the same time because stress like that and pressure like that is earned, and when you're doing stuff like that, I think it means that you're doing something worthwhile. Well,
shortly after the game, I actually had Louis on twice. I had him on at the end of regulation, and then I had him on after you won. And one of the things we talked about that I thought was really interesting was the what you're talking about now, the stress, because he and I both noted the reaction shots of the Canada players, several of them from the bench. And I translated the look on their faces the same way he did, which was, we're going to be haunted by this forever. I mean, how did this happen? Even though, as you say, somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. And Louis said that's the trauma of it, but he said that's also the beauty of it. It's why people care to the degree that they do, this feeling that so much is at stake. That's what raises it to that place.
Yes. It's because you care. And you put a lot into it because you care. And it's important and it means something to you deep down inside. And when it doesn't happen, yes, it is heartbreaking and it will haunt you. I've been through it. This is the hard thing about the silver medal. In other competitions like skiing or you're competing really against clock or time.
Sure.
You don't lose your game. In hockey, you actually lose that game and get a silver medal, which is a great accomplishment in the Olympics. But it feels like you just got kicked in the you-know-whats. And it takes, I have my silver medal proudly displayed in my home office, and it takes a little time to get over that and realize, like, hey, man, this is pretty special. Like, not too many people have one of these, but it's really tough.
So how many nights have you been back here sleeping in your own bed? 2?
I've slept in my bed one night. I'm in Denver.
Only 1. Oh, that's right. What am I thinking? You're with the team. I should have known. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I got home at, we had a big delay in our connection in New York, so I didn't get home till 2:30.
Oof.
And then I was on the team charter at 2.
So is the high from this literally, whenever you wake up, whatever bed you're in, hotel bed, home, whatever the case may be, is it literally the first thing you're thinking about again, and that feeling of satisfaction of taking on, a huge sports responsibility and literally having it go about as well as it can? Is that what you're waking up with right now? Is that the afterglow that you have right now every night or every morning when you wake up?
Not really. Like, I think I'm still getting it together. Like, it was such a whirlwind.
Yeah,
and right. Then the travel back, and then jumping right on the team charter, and it's been go, 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 go. I haven't really had time to really sit and process what we just did. And I'm gonna need to take some time just because it's so special, and it hasn't really hit me yet.
That's interesting.
It's still sinking in. It still seems like a dream.
Who are you happiest for?
I'm happiest for the players. You know what? They're the ones that go out there and do it. They're the ones that take a lot of grief. They're the ones that, execute the game. Like, this is a group of guys that have been, touted as the best, but haven't really been able to get over that hump. But they finally did it. And I think I'm just the happiest for the players.
Do you have, since we have you now, and then I do want to get maybe 1 or 2 quick questions on the season resuming. Do you have a reaction to the blowback the players did receive after the stupid joke by the president about having to invite I'm going to have to invite otherwise I'm going to be impeached if I don't invite the women. The blowback they've received to their reaction. What's your thought on that?
Listen, everybody wants to politicize everything in this day and age, and I'm not going to do that. Like, this was an accomplishment by 2 teams, the men's team and the women's team, that were incredible, and both support each other. We're all in it together. We're all Americans. We're all American hockey players. It doesn't matter if you're male, female, or whatever. And we actually have another chance to do it with the Paralympic team. They're unbelievable. So we have a chance to do something really special here. But to me, I'm not going to let those things get in the way of what these players accomplish and what they're doing for this game in our country. And we just won 2 gold medals. That's what we're celebrating. And I'm just so proud of both teams, and just we don't want it to be politicized in any way.
Do you feel like, because the comeback you're going to get, and you probably have already received, you probably already know this, is, well, if you invite Patel into the locker room in a 50-50 country, so to speak, politically, that is an act of politicizing the thing. What do you say?
Yeah, it's just not to me. There's nothing about the Olympics that's political. It's sports. And that's what we were there to do. We were there to play hockey. We were there to accomplish a common goal, and that's what we did. That's what the focus is on, the players and the games and winning gold medals, and that's what we did.
Your team, right into the fire, right? Colorado tonight. So is it, like you said, you're still getting used to being back here. You're probably still having time zone issues, the whole bit. no rest for the weary, right? You got to jump back into this thing and remember that that your two-pronged guarantee, as I recall it, was winning the gold in the Olympics and the Wild winning the Stanley Cup, right? So you got to pay off on the second guarantee too, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, sorry. I mean, we have work to do. You know, it's like you said, no rest for the weary. But hey, look, this is my day job, and you know, we've got something else that we want to accomplish, and we want to make our team better if we can. And you know, it's just you know, it is what it is.
Would you classify?
Keep working.
Would you classify this? Talking about a gold medal, is this Bill Guerin's crowning achievement, easily at the top of the list of his career, of your career as an executive?
Oh yeah. This has been it. I mean, you know what? I know I've been a part of 2 other Stanley Cups as a manager, but I was not the general manager. I was an assistant GM. Not to take anything away from that.
Yep.
But when you're the guy in charge and it's a gold medal, then yeah, this is. I mean, my God, this is one of the biggest thrills of my life. This is not, I've been at this for 2 years specifically like this, but as a whole, I've been after this since I was 9 years old. This is not just like this recent thing. I've been after this my whole life. Ever since 1980.
1980. As we talked about that. Yeah, you reminded us of that very fact. Congratulations again. Thanks for the extended time. Hope you can get some sleep and get the cold going, and we'll be in touch soon. Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate you. Bill Guerin, Wild General Manager, helping us out. We'll make this the top of the hour pause a little bit later than usual. We've got Russo Radio in less than an hour. Dr. Dan's inbox at 5:30.